Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well this week. Today we are going to be doing listening practice. When you're learning a language, it is so important for you to practice listening and for you to determine if you're actually understanding the words that individuals are saying to you. This is important because language in practice is not an individual skill. This is a social skill. And thus, it's so important for you to develop your ear in a way that language is processed correctly in your brain. And the way to do that is to practice the skill of listening. And today we're going to try that with 3 different activities. Now, these activities will be interactive and you will have to send me evidence of completion of these activities on Remind, so make sure that you watch the full video, okay? I will be checking all of those activities on Remind. Also, please make sure that you react to my morning post on Remind so that I know that you are actually in the class. Okay, if you don't react to it, I can't mark you as attending. Okay, so let's begin. For today's class, you are going to need the following materials. You're going to need a piece of paper. I actually didn't write it there, but you will need a pencil. And also, you're going to need to download the map that I posted on Remind. Okay, so I would suggest for you to pause this video, look for a piece of paper, look for a pencil, and make sure you download the map so that you have access to all the materials you need before we start each activity. Alright, so here's the first activity. For this one, you're going to need the piece of paper and the pencil that I mentioned before. For this activity, I am going to describe an image using plenty of adjectives. As you know, an adjective is a word that is used to describe. Adjectives include beautiful, tall, wide, long. Colors are also adjectives. So any word that I use to describe an object that can make you visualize it is usually an adjective. Okay? You have to listen really carefully and you're going to try to imagine what I am describing and draw it based on that description. After you finish making your masterpiece, you're going to post it on Remind so that I see just how well you were able to follow the instructions or follow the descriptions that I provided. At the end of today's class, I am going to post the actual picture that I used for inspiration for this class so that you can compare it to your own. Okay, well, are you ready? Listen really carefully to this description and draw what you think the image should look like. Okay, first, I want you to draw a flower with exactly 11 long petals. It should look kind of like a daisy. That's a type of flower. Once you have drawn this flower with exactly 11 long petals, you're going to draw the long, thin stem for your flower. The stem is that part that holds up your flower, goes into the floor. That's the stem. You're going to draw that. It should be long and thin. Once you have finished your flower, you're going to draw a caterpillar. Now, if you've ever seen a caterpillar, it is the animal that turns into a butterfly. So this is a very particular caterpillar that I'm about to describe, so continue to listen carefully. The caterpillar will be holding on to the flower with 3 of its legs. I will later tell you how many legs you need to draw, but I think for now, maybe you should just start by drawing the caterpillar's face. This caterpillar is going to be looking straight at you, and then its body should go down and then stretch towards the right area of the page. Okay, so for the caterpillar's face, it should have big eyes with pupils. Okay, so not just dots, it should have eyes with pupils. It should have thin eyebrows just above the eyes, just 2 rounded lines above the eyes for the eyebrows. And it should have a big, wide nose, which should look kind of like a stretched circle. So the nose should actually be bigger than the eyes. The nose will be the biggest part of our caterpillar's face. It's going to have like 2 cheeks and then a very small mouth. Okay, on top of the caterpillar's head, there should be 2 filaments, which you can think of as antennae, which should be long and have small circles at the end. Like the eyebrows, just 2 long lines will suffice as long as you have 2 little circles at the top of each filament or antenna. Now the face should be complete. It should have 2 eyes, it should have eyebrows, a wide nose, thin antenna or filaments. Now let's move on to the body. The body will actually be showing 2 parts because our caterpillar is basically standing up, so you can see the bottom of the caterpillar, but on the side that's stretched out to the right, you can see the top of the caterpillar. So the top of the body should have small circles in various places, kind of like a cow would have spots in random places, okay, or like a Dalmatian. The bottom of the body should have divisions forming a shape that will kind of look like a rectangle with rounded corners. Okay, so we're going to divide the front part of the body in sections. Once you've drawn the body, you can move on to drawing the legs. There should be 14 legs total. 2 of those legs should be raised towards the right side of the caterpillar. 3 of them, like I said previously, will be holding the flower. The flower will be to the right of the caterpillar, if you were the caterpillar. But for us looking at it, it's going to be to the left. My apologies. The remaining 9 legs will be pointing towards the floor. Okay? Next to your caterpillar's head, there should be a message written which will say, I heart, not the word, but the actual symbol, grandma, in all uppercase letters. Okay? They should not be lowercase, they should all be uppercase. Write I, the symbol heart, and then under that, grandma in uppercase. All right? I hope you were able to catch that description and draw it as accurately as you possibly can. If I was going too fast, remember you can pause the video and you can go back to wherever you stopped. Okay? and just listen to it at your own pace. Remember also that you have to share this drawing with me on Remind. I will be waiting to see it. Let's move on to activity number 2. Here, we're going to be practicing listening to directions. Here we have a map of the world, and of course I've marked around the area where Puerto Rico is. So here you will need the map that I posted on Remind. The instructions are that you're going to have to listen closely to the directions that I am going to provide. You're going to follow those directions using the map, and what you want to do is figure out where I am taking you. Where did I lead you with those directions? Here is the map. Okay, you are going to start in Sol Street. Sol Street is right here. Okay, this is Sol Street. This is your starting point. After this, I'm not going to point because you have to follow the directions and determine where I am taking you. Okay? All right, so we're starting here in Sol Street. From Sol Street, you are going to be moving towards the left. In other words, you're going to be heading west until you reach Cruz Street. Okay? So go left or west until you reach Cruz Street. There, you will take a right, followed by going in the first entrance to the left. Okay, so you take a right and then pretty quickly you're going to take a left. Once you have done so, keep going until you find Plaza San Jose. This is like a checkpoint. You have to keep going until you find Plaza San Jose. There, you will need to take a right, followed by a quick left towards the parking lot. Okay, there's some symbols around this map that means some things. We have towards this side the meaning of each of the symbols. Okay, so what I'm telling you is that after Plaza San Jose, you make a left right and then a quick left towards the parking lot. Okay? After that, you're going to keep going straight until you find Plaza de Beneficencia. When you get to that plaza, you will need to take a right. Following this, you are going to keep going straight until you reach your destination, which is actually close to the trolley stop. So tell me, where did my directions lead you? Where were we going? Write to me on the Remind page, tell me where I've led you, and I'll let you know if you were able to follow the directions accurately. Let's now move on to the third and final activity. As you know, I really like teaching listening or practicing listening by filling in the gaps in song lyrics. And I know how much you all enjoy it as well because every semester you ask me to do this again. So I actually found a way to do it online. There's actually a page online called lyricsgaps.com which has different songs for you to practice in different levels. I've actually chosen 5 different songs for you to choose from. You only need to complete 1. If you complete more than 1, that is perfectly fine, but for the purposes of our class, you only need to complete 1. I will let you choose whichever level you desire. For example, if you want an easier challenge, then you can choose the song Let It Be by John Lennon. If you want a medium challenge, you can choose the song Stand By Me, or bare necessities. And if you want a more difficult challenge, you can choose the songs High Hopes by Panic at the Disco or Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. Okay? Again, let me repeat this. You only need to complete one. The links will be posted on the Remind page. Once you finish writing all the words that are missing, you're going to click on a button that says Score. It'll tell you your score. Please just screenshot that page and send it to me so I know your score and I know that you participated. So basically you will be sending me several things throughout today's class. Let's kind of review everything. Let me close this so it's not confusing. Okay. You are going to go on the Remind page. Here's a screenshot. And number 1, you are going to send me the picture that you drew. Remember when I described the picture of the flower being held by the caterpillar with the words, I love grandma, close to its head? I want to see your interpretation of that description. So send me the picture you drew on the Remind page. Second, tell me in a complete sentence where I was leading you with the directions. I've given you some directions to follow in a map. Tell me where I was trying to get you to go. And finally, you should complete the lyrics gap challenge. Again, only one song is necessary. Please send me a screenshot of your results. And that's basically it. I hope you have a lot of fun doing today's listening activities. I hope you're more mindful about being perceptive to sounds and really honing the skill, which will be so important in your continued development of your language learning. All right, well, that's it for today. Bye, everybody. As always, I am there on the Remind page to answer any questions, so don't doubt to write to me whenever you have an issue. If your internet isn't working well, anything like that, please just let me know and we'll find a different way for you to complete the activity. But don't just stay silent, okay? Because what's most important to me is that you continue your English learning journey, whether your internet is cooperating or not. All right? Okay, that's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.